Hello our beloved viewers, it's 9 p.m. You are watching on live RTD channel. Welcome to this English news edition. Here are the major stories. The prevention measure at Djibouti International Airport. And on the international scene, Anglais crisis, new discussion between Ankara and Moscow. Welcome to our newsroom. The coronavirus is no longer an emergency in China, but also around the world, where airports have been taking important preventive measures to deal with the outbreaks of this epidemic with the United States, Australia, and Egypt reporting cases of this new coronavirus infection. Airports around the world are making every effort to screen travelers. In Malaysia, health authorities are stepping up monitoring at the international port of entry using thermal scanners to screen people upon arrival. People showing signs of a fever will be examined and possibly quarantined. Other Asian countries, including the Philippines and Bangladesh, have also introduced new control measures at the airport. And at the national level, preventive measures have been adopted at all entry point and land border posts, including at Djibouti International Airport. Details in this report.
At the national level, preventative measures has been adopted all at entry points and land border posts, including at Djibouti International Airport. An ad hoc committee has been set up to implement and monitor the prevention and epidemiological surveillance plan against the new type of coronavirus that has appeared in China. It should be noted that this ad hoc committee, composed of several specialists such as infectiologists, epidemiologists, and senior departmental officials, has carried out an exhaustive evaluation of the epidemiological surveillance mechanisms.
The Minister of Health, Mr. Mohammed Warsamadi, reassured an important meeting with the staff of General Peltier Hospital on the revitalizations and improvement of quality of hospital service. This important meeting was attended by the Secretary General of Health, Dr. Salah Benoita Turab, the Director General of Peltier Hospital, Mr. Zakaria Ahmed Aulet, and several staff members of the Ministry's office. During the discussion, the Minister of Health underlined the new orientation of a health policy in hospital environment, which requires an efficient redeployment and continuous efforts of everyone to further improve the quality of hospital care service and the reception of patients throughout their stay. The main official from the central level, those from the Peltier Hospital, therefore exchanged views and ways and means of possibility and the impact of working environment of health professional in order to improve the quality of medical care for the benefit of patients. The Minister of Health took advantage of the meeting to raise the issues of this global epidemical emergency due to the coronavirus which appeared in China by launching an appeal to the various hospital structures in the country to raise their alert level on this subject. In response to the World Health Organization recommendation, the director of Sheho Hospital, Musa Ibrahim Suge, has set up a series of training and awareness seminar for healthcare personnel of prevention protocols and how to deal with suspected cases of coronavirus. This is an anticipation exercise that helps to update the epidemical situation on the coronavirus by providing healthcare personnel and useful information on best practices for individual protection direction on the standards to provide and definitions of suspected cases, as well as on the conduct to be followed in case of a suspicion and coronavirus. It should be noted that this training is provided by the technical director, Dr. Temiro Aden Okie, and by the specialist of infections and tropical disease, Dr. Hussein Yusuf Darar. In addition, a guide of the response strategy and protocols from the management of suspected cases will be distributed to all participants. This training is also attended for the staff of the emergency medical and the resuscitation service who play a key role in the evacuations and safe transport of suspected cases to the isolation or quarantine sites that have been set up as a part of the plan. In an interview, the technical advisor of Sheikh Hospital in Balbala, the Dr. Temiro, commented in a short intervention on the goals of a series of measures that they there for the benefit of the employees who working in this health. She said the similar training should be extended to all hospital facilities in the country to ensure that health professionals have a sufficient knowledge of the appropriate measures to be taken in the event of outbreak or suspicions of coronavirus cases. The Ministry of Environment, Construction and Tourism organized in cooperation with the United Nations Development Programme a National Day to clean up the beach in Sagalu district of the Tajura region. This occasion falls within the framework of the implementation of the project to combat environmental pollution and marine and coastal biological diversity and enhance the protection of a marine reserve. The launching ceremony was assured by the Secretary General of the Ministry of Construction, Environment and Tourism, Mr. Dini Abdullah Umar, and Ms. Fatima, a representative of United Nations Development, will also present. The occasion also witnessed the participation of the regional officials, including Deputy Ms. Husseiniya Abdul Qadir Ali, Deputy Prefect of Tajura, Mr. Habib Jilani, and Director of Environmental and Sustainable Development, Hussein Vrira Shroble. The street cleaning campaign aims to educate the people of Sagalu about the protection of the beach from pollution and the waste that affected the quality of the fish available for fishing. The conservation of fish resources is also an important activity for coastal residents. In a speech to him on this occasion, the Secretary General of the Ministry of Construction, Environment and Tourism, Mr. Dini Abdullah, expressed in his initiatives his happiness to participate in these cleaning works and that were held in this regard. He also expressed his great satisfaction for the positive results achieved during this cleaning day in this area. He thanked the Ministry of Environment, Construction and Tourism, Mr. Muhammad Abdul Qadir Musa, for his continuous support to the country's youth, especially the youth of Sagalu district, for their accomplishment of this volunteer work and showing courage and dynamism during the cleaning operation of the site. In her intervention, Deputy Hussein Abdul Qadir Ali pointed out the importance of this occasion to clean up the beach of Sagalu and said, "Thank you all of you for coming and participating in this occasion, which is an occasion to clean Sagalu beach. As you all know, previous rains left us and that had to be removed so as not to harm the environment and the human beings." As part of the fight against crime in all its forms, the gendarmes of PK-12's North Brigades obtained information on the sale of automobiles part taken from the vehicles belonging to the Ministry of Health. Details in this report.
As part of the fight against crime in all its forms, The gendarmeries of the PK-12 North Brigade obtained information on the sale of automobile parts taken from vehicles belonging to the Ministry of Health, which were immobilized in a warehouse of the institution located at PK-12 for mechanical failures. Armed with this information, the command of the Judicial Group mobilized the gendarmeries of the PK-12 North Brigade and the criminal identification techniques of the SRD with a view to carrying out an investigation in this regard. The initial elements of the investigation pointed to a possible complicity of the warehouse keeper, who was immediately heard on these facts. At the same time, the criminal identification techniques undertook technical findings on the 31 vehicles immobilized in this warehouse. These operations revealed that 10 of the 31 vehicles were missing car parts, including 2 engines, 4 injection pumps, 3 gearbox, 2 cylinder heads, and 3 minibus starters. After intensive search, 4 individuals, including 3 garage owners and 1 bus driver, were arrested and taken into custody. This investigation also led to the seizure of 4 mini transport buses and 1 pickup Diana vehicles, as well as 2 engines of dismantled minibus ambulance.
National news. As part of the fight against smuggling and illicit trafficking, a Djiboutian Coast Guard team stationed in the Coast Guard of Loyada intercepted in the evening of 14 February an individual transporting a significant quantity of cosmetic and 48 cartons of Basin and H brand cigarettes and 10 cartons of Royal Business brand cigarettes to Loyada from Somalia. The individual who committed the offense was arrested during the operation and will be held accountable for his action in front of the court. The Coast Guard is continuing its tireless effort to put an end to the activities of these smugglers who aim to destroy the country's economy. The investigation has been handed over to the Coast Guard's Researches, Investigation and Judicial Affairs Brigade, and the smuggled goods are being sized between the pending court decision. This morning, a delegation of the parliamentarians visited the site of the fire, a neighborhood one that devastated a dozen of houses last night. Details in this report.
This morning, a delegation of parliamentarians visited the site of the fire in Section 1 that devastated a dozen houses last night. Upon their arrival, the delegation of parliamentarians and officials were welcomed by the sub-prefect of the 1st District, Mr. Abdi Hassan. The fire broke out last night around 4 a.m. in the morning in a house at the corner of Avenue 9 and Boulevard 11 and quickly spread to the surrounding houses.
Health news now. In Ali Sabi Hospital, a blood donation has been organized yesterday morning in the village of Mulud. Many donors have responded en masse in this outpouring of solidarity to give of themselves to save lives. This day of blood donation took place in the presence of the prefect of Dakhel region, Mr. Aden Darar Musa, the president of Regional Council, Abdurrahman Yunis Are, the director of Indeed. The collect stock of blood bags will guarantee a permanent availability of vital liquids in the operating rooms of the regional hospital. In an speech on this occasion, the president of the regional council in the region of Dakhil, Mr. Abdurrahman Yunis Are, expressing his gratitude to the blood donors who carry out this voluntary process in order to save the lives of a patient in needs of this blood. Mr. Abdurrahman also stated that these quantities donated by the citizens that were stored will benefit from the regional hospital located in Ali Sabih later and while performing operation in the operating rooms. He added that this process falls within the framework of solidarity with the patient in needs of blood who are helping from a lack of blood quantities and also enhance the hospital's effort to carry out its medical activities to the fullest. Moving on to the international scene, the Kremlin said on Wednesday that Russian President Vladimir Putin had discussed with his Turkish counterpart Recep Tayyip Erdogan about the growing conflict in Idlib, northwestern Syria. Details in this report.
The head of Russian diplomacy, Sergei Lavrov, assured that the victory of President Bashar al-Assad was inevitable in Idlib province, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov and his Turkish counterpart Mevlut Cavusoglu held talks this Saturday on the sidelines of the security conference in Munich, Germany. These two major players in the Syrian dossier, Moscow supports the regime of Bashar al-Assad, while Ankara supports rebel groups, discussed the crisis in the province of Idlib, the last base of jihadists and rebels, where deadly fighting has recently pitted Turkish and Syrian forces against each other. Sergei Lavrov said that victory of the Syrian regime was inevitable in Syria's Idlib province, while Turkey has 12 observation posts under an agreement between Moscow and Ankara in 2018.
This is it for this English news edition, and have a good evening.